So now I want to revise plotting coordinates, or as we call them, points. So we have our Cartesian plane. So notice we have what we call the y-axis. We have what we call the x-axis. The x-axis is really like a number line. See, so we have 0 in the middle here, and then we have 1, 2, and we go onwards, positive numbers, and then we have negative numbers to the left. And then the y-axis, also like a number line, except it's vertical. So again, the x and the y-axis, both of them meet at 0. And the y-axis, the y value gets, as you go up, the value gets larger. And as you descend, the value gets smaller. So I want to look at how we plot coordinates or points. Alright, so where the x and y-axis meet, we call that the origin. Right. And of course, we divide them into 4 quadrants. This is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third, and fourth. So let's look at how we plot the point 5, 6. This is what we call an ordered pair. We'll soon discuss more what we call ordered pair. Alright, so 5, 6, a pair. So coordinates are given as a pair. So the first value represents the x coordinate, and the second value represents what we call the y coordinate. Good? So when we are plotting coordinates, we always begin from where both axes meet, where the x and the y axis meet. We always begin at 0. Alright, so we always begin at the origin, where both the x and the y axis meet when we're plotting a point. So again, the first number represents what we call the x coordinate, and the second number always the y coordinate. So a positive value, you make a positive move along the x coordinate, and 6 represents the movement, or the second number, whatever that is, represents how you move vertically. So the first number along the x coordinate, which is horizontally, the second number along the y coordinate, which is vertically. So if you were asked to plot the point 5, 6, where will you begin? Again, it's giving you the direction or the location of a point. So you begin from the origin also, always. And the 5 means you move 5 units to the right. If it was negative 5, you would move 5 units to the left. So the first number tells us how we move horizontally. And we always move in a straight line, no zigzag or crisscross. Alright? So when you're moving from the origin here, where both axes meet, is always straight. Straight to the right or straight to the left, horizontally. So the 5 means you go 5 units across. And then the 6 represents a y coordinate movement, or what we call a vertical movement. So we go 6 units up. So this, from the origin, 5 across and 6 up. If it was negative 6, how would we move? Same 5 across, and negative 6 would mean 6 down. Alright, let's look at it. So 5 across, here's a red line, 5 across, and then 6 up. And that's our point 5, 6. Let's look at some more points. 5, 6, 5 across, 6 up. Alright. Negative 3, 4. I want to take a guess of how we plot this point. Where do we begin? I always begin at the intersection here, what we call the origin, where the x and y axis meet. So the negative 3 means what? We're moving to the right or to the left? That's correct. We move to the left. So remember the first number represents what we call a horizontal movement. So if the first number is a movement along the x-axis, which is, of course, the x-axis is horizontal. So if the value is positive, as in the previous one with 5, 6, you move right. And if the value is negative, you move left. The second value now represents what we call a vertical movement, or movement parallel to the y-axis. Alright, that 4, what does it mean? 4 up or 4 down? Alright, so 4 up. Alright, so minus 3 mean from the origin, and by the way, always moving from the origin. Make a note of that. And then minus 3. So 3 units to the left, and then 4 up. Negative 4, 6. How do you think we're going to move negative 4, 6 now? So from the origin, negative 4. Do we move to the right or do we move to the left? So the negative means we move to the left. How many units? 4 units. And 6 up. Alright, so that's negative 4, 6. So from the origin, 4 units to the left and 6 units up. The point 2, negative 3. Where's that? From the origin, how do we move? Left or right? The first value, don't forget the first value represents the x-coordinate movement or the horizontal movement. So the first value, move 2, positive 2, so 2 to the right. And the negative 3 is what we call the vertical movement, the up or down movement. So the first number, sideways movement. Second number, vertical movement. I mean, when I say vertical, we're talking about up or down, right? So from the origin, 2 across, first number represents x movement along the x-axis, right? So positive 2, so 2 to the right, and negative 3 mean 3 down, right? Alright, so that's our point. From the origin, 2 to the right, and then 3 down. Minus 6, minus 4. So both values negative. So the first number, movement along the x-axis, do we move right or left? We move right 6 places, right? Left 6 places. And then up or down? It's negative, so we go down 4 units. Alright? 7, 3. How do we move there? From the origin. Both positive. So along the x-axis, 7 across and 3 up. Alright. How about that point there? 5, 0. From the origin, where do we move? Yes, remember the first number represents movement along the x-axis. So positive 5 means you move 5 to the right. And the 0, do we go up or down? 0 means there's no vertical movement. No up or down movement, alright? How about that point? 0, 6. So remember the first number is movement along the x-axis. So you begin at the origin. And how far do we move along the x-axis? 0, that's no movement, right? And then, how far do we move now up the x-axis, up the y-axis? 6 units. Good? 0, 6. Negative 7, 0. From the origin, from the intersection, movement along the x-axis is how far? Alright, 7 to the left. Very good. And now the vertical movement, there's none. So we'll stay right there, right? Zero minus 3. Where do we begin? Begin on the origin, right? 0 on the x-axis. No horizontal movement. And then negative 3 means 3 down, right? Okay, so I want to play a game now. We're going to put up some points. And you tell the coordinates. So that point, what is that point? So from the origin, 2 across, 2 up. So what is that point? 2, 2. What is that point? From the origin, 5 across and 2 up. So what are the coordinates of that point? 5, 2. Very good. From the origin, 9 across and 2 up. sorry, 9 across and 5 up. So what coordinates is that? Alright, 9, 5. Next one, from the origin, 6 across and 7 up. So what are the coordinates there? 6, 7. Good. Let's do some more. That point. So from the origin, we go 2 to the left and 2 up. What are the coordinates there? 2 to the left, so that's minus 2, right? And 2 up. Good. Next one, write it down. From the origin, we go 3 to the left and 8 up. What are the coordinates there? Negative 3, 8. Next one, from the origin, we go 7 to the left and 7 up. What are the coordinates there? So because we are going to the left, coordinates, the x-coordinate is negative, right? And we are going up, so the y-coordinate in all of them, the y-coordinate is positive. Next one, from the origin, we go 9 to the left and 4 up. So again, we're going left horizontally. So that's negative 9. Good. Coordinates for that one. Notice we go from the origin, we go 4 to the right and 1 down. So that's 4, negative 1. From the origin, 9 to the right and 7 down. That's 9, negative 7. Other one, from the origin, 6 to the right and 5 down. This seems to be an error with that one. Ignore that one. 9 to the right. 9 to the right. And no y movement, so that's 9, 0. Good. Alright. So notice with all of these coordinates here, because you're moving to the right, the x coordinate is positive. And because you're moving down, the y coordinate is negative, except the case, this 9, 0 here. This 9, 0. There's no y movement. That seems to be an error here. What are the coordinates of this point here? This coordinate is 6 minus 5. Here, so error here is 5. It should not be 5 minus 5, right? So totally ignore that. So this is not 5 minus 5. This is actually 6, because from the origin we go 6 to the right and 5 down. So forgive that error, please.